All right, so out the gate, one thing that I never really knew until the other day when you said something to me off the record. Where you from? Like, where's home?
Okay, my the Richardsons are from El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
And of course my mom's a Mayberry. So my dad, when my grandfather got the head coaching job at TU, my dad and my uncle came with him. And he played at Booker T. They won state with Wayman Tisdale now.
Yes, sir.
And
legendary.
That's where I met my mom. So I was born in Tulsa, moved to Fayetteville about 3 years old. And then going to my freshman year in high school, I moved to Antioch, Nashville, Tennessee. And then going to my senior year, I moved back to Tulsa.
Back to Tulsa.
Yeah.
Man, how tough was that seemingly bouncing around? Was it tough to, to plant some seeds and, build connections with people, or was it easy peasy?
It's easy to build connection, but it was hard. It was hard moving around, and I kind of got used to it, and it kind of in a sense helped me out later on from jumping from college and playing overseas from year, going different places where it's like I was never homesick.
I feel that. You sort of sound like I heard Ray Allen breaking it down how he was a journeyman. You know what I mean? And it just got to be like commonplace.
Yeah.
Talking, oh man, big talk.
Okay, so is it just you, or you got any siblings, brothers and
No,
sisters?
I have a older sister that's 2 years older than me. Then I have a little brother that's 12 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're right in the middle. How was that, man, growing up as the baby for a little while? You got big sis. Was she super protective, or was she busting your ass all the time?
Both. Both. And I think it really is a thing. The middle child really is a thing where, like, you get that treatment, and once another one comes in, it's like you kind of forgotten about a little bit.
Yeah. Would you say y'all's relationship was pretty tight though between you and both your siblings?
Yes. Me and my brother are actually real close. My sister, we've gotten a lot closer throughout the years.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. That's dope. Okay, so when did that ball start bouncing, man? I gotta know. And was it always just hoops, or did you ever do anything else?
My dad wouldn't let me do nothing else. Yeah, I remember I remember me dribbling the basketball, really like working on like left and right hand when I was like 3 years old. He already had a ball in my hand, early dribbling. And then I had a little Nerf hoop that he made me shoot with for the form. So that's how that went down.
Was that hard, man, trying to get the form right? Was it janky in the beginning and he had to fix it, or it was just you were natural with it?
I guess it was kind of easy. It was kind of easy. I never had to shoot on a bigger goal, so I never had to throw no ball. And he trained. I think that's what made me into me wanting to train, because I got the negative aspects of it. My dad threatened to whoop me if I didn't play good, push me harder. Some nights, there was some crying nights.
Oh yeah. That's real, man. I think every father-son dynamic as it relates to sports is at least there's one chapter in there at some point where it gets like that. Now, can you think of a moment where you got to the point where you appreciated that, to where it wasn't just like dad's the boogeyman, but it's like, oh dang, this stuff kind of works?
Moving to Central. Moving back to Tulsa, coming here to Central.
Yeah.
My dad, he worked out in O'Brien Park.
Yes, sir.
So literally after like practice, whatever, I would go to the YMCA, put up shots. Then I go with my dad and put up some more shots, hanging out with my dad. And like I had no life but basketball. And so after like literally when I graduated, the dynamics changed. Going to my senior year, moving here, our dynamic changed as far as he wasn't so much a sergeant. He was more just let me play.
Yeah.
Compared to, everything, always like make a point not to look at him when I'm hooping, because I can always hear him.
Oh, yeah. And can you feel him looking at you even if you ain't looking at him?
Sometimes I have to wave him off.
Oh, yeah. I can remember one of the games, because, see, me and you know this, but for those that are, watching and listening, I was a freshman when you were a senior. That one and only year you were here at Central. That was when I first got here. And it was one of them games, I don't remember where we were, but I remember you were in the 30s as far as how many points you had that night, and you went to the free throw line and you split. And as soon as you miss, you're like, damn, oh, come on, man. And I was looking like, Pops is for real with it. I was like, my man missed one free throw, probably out of like 12 or 13 that night.
Oh, man. My dad ingrained in me. Matter of fact, when I train, I ingrained it in the kids I train because he ingrained in me. Literally, if you miss 2 free throws, that's a turnover. Like, ain't no way they free. That's what they call free throws for a reason. So he really made me be consistent and gave me help with free throws, even if whatever. I remember at Midwestern State, I actually lead all-time leader in free throw, 91% from the free throw line. Like everywhere I played, I was upper 88, 89, 90% always where I went because I always heard him in the back of my head.
Now, would you say it was just a mechanics thing, being able to knock him down, or how you able to get yourself back centered? Because it's an emotional game, man, especially when the crowd is hollering at you and it's in the clutch.
It comes back from being one-on-one in the gym with him, making it harder on me. When I shoot free throws, he would bump me while I'm trying to shoot the free throw and cuss me out if I missed it. And like, he always would throw some adversity at me. Yeah. So it was like in the game, it was like it's more fun now. Now I can talk back instead of getting in trouble. And
did you always have your confidence early on?
Yeah, no, my confidence. My junior year in high school, I think I was ranked 48th in the nation, and I got invited to the Nike camp, and there was only 200 people invited. And then that was the same year I was moving back to Tulsa, so I was going from Nike camp, going home, and I was coming here to play for the Tulsa Junior Hurricanes. And me just playing against Rudy Gay, Dwight Howard, playing against all like the top, Jordan Farmer, all them playing right there. When I came here, it was like, what the, like, it got easy. Yeah. And I just translated that all the way over.
You said Junior Hurricanes, man. Now, since you took me there, talk about that team, dog, because they were loaded, man. Name some of the cats that you can remember off top that you met and played with during that time.
Man, Eric Payne, Alvin Barnett, Prentice Elliott, Dimitri Sims. Man, I ain't seen him in years. Clayton Rice, Corey. I played Corey. Yeah, that's where I met Corey. Yeah. Who else was it?
I can't believe you said Dimitri Seals. I ain't heard that name in years, man. Yeah, Zig was playing with him. Zig, and I think he ended up leaving from over here. Y'all senior year for whatever reason. I could have had it all.
I don't know what you know what? Me and Zig was close.
Yeah,
and then
Zig even before?
Because me and Zig had history because I used to come down here and play for the Antioch Saints. That's why I also knew Troy and them a little bit because they played for Antioch Saints. So it all kind of came back.
Okay, so you weren't starting from scratch after all.
Nah, some of the dudes I didn't, I knew them, but I didn't know them.
Right.
But Corey, of course, we spent the whole summer together playing, so I knew him. So I always had him, but Corey already had his own little group and thing he had going on at Central. But sure. yeah, Corey. I remember I tried to get Corey to come to NOC and Eden with me, man.
Man, and because he said something that blew my mind, and we're gonna come back to that. But we're gonna rewind back to your high school chapters before you got to Tulsa. Okay. How was grades 9 through 11, man? How was your game evolving and blossoming, and you turning into who you ultimately became once I met you?
So I found out I was going to a school called Antioch High School,
right,
in Antioch, Tennessee. My dad was like, "You got a dude over there that can go whatever." Mario Moore. He was like number 4. He was 2 grades ahead of me, but he was like number 4 point guard in the country. He ended up going to Vanderbilt.
Okay.
But he was, when I saw his game, when I actually moved from Fayetteville to Nashville, either my game had to evolve or I was going to get lost. Because I was instead of dealing with the technical white kids and all that, now I was dealing with some
color.
Some and now it's a culture shock for me because I'm dealing with, I always went around, white. So I think from there, I used to be outside every day playing at this park, and I used to run into kids at this park and hoop against. And I got close with one guy. He ended up going to Antioch with me, and I think from there it changed the way I saw the game because I was more free. I wasn't locked in the box. And the coach over there, I didn't play freshman. I played varsity, but I came off the bench, and he let me play. So it kind of helped out.
Free reign. Oh, I think that's big. And so you say you just bypassed freshman ball, no JV neither?
I played JV. Actually, matter of fact, when I was a sophomore, I started varsity. I also fought to play JV.
Really?
Because all my boys were playing JV, and I got to win in JV and got a whole bunch of shots up.
There you go. Yeah, you go. It's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I didn't like playing freshman ball, though.
You didn't?
No, I didn't like playing freshman ball. Because I never practiced with them, so therefore I was never in the loop of their style. And so and then the game it wasn't as fun as me because it was.
You're a little too advanced.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. It's just that I was. They didn't treat me like as far as like I was boys with them, but since I didn't practice with them, I wasn't getting the same kind of.
You weren't in.
Yeah, I wasn't in.
I know exactly.
So I would have to force things, and when I force things, either it's gonna go good or bad.
Yeah, now you're really the enemy. Golly. So do you think that was a conscious move by your dad, putting you in such a situation, changing your culture, for so to speak, as far as basketball goes, taking you from one demographic to another?
I think so. I honestly think he did. I honestly think he did that on purpose. He knew I was soft growing up.
Did he ever coach you, or was it just the one-on-ones in the gym?
Oh, he coached. He coached me. He actually coached. He had an AAU team from, what was it, from like 6th grade to 7th. I was on his AAU team, and so yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't fun.
I get it.
Fun because you get all the shots. It's not fun for the fact that you don't always want to blame.
And those car rides home, man.
You can't just hang out. Nah, you got to talk about what you did wrong.
Oh my goodness. Did you ever have a moment where you got enough nerve and snapped back at him?
Yeah, I did. Then he took it out of me.
Ooh.
Yeah, he took it out of me. Actually, it was twice. One was we were playing at Tennessee State. And the other one was actually he was helping us practice here at Central. And he kind of, I remember right over there, he kind of grabbed my jersey, threw me up. I mean, kind of like got in my face, went off in front of everybody.
Ooh.
You know, I had to take it.
Had to take that.
Yeah.
It's such a different time now, because can you imagine seeing a moment like that in real time today? Whether it's a coach, player, or even a parent and his son or daughter. It's so frowned upon to really press them like that.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that now.
No.
Yeah.
It's like we used to have to keep a straight face, man. Whatever you think of the feeling, you better get it off your mind.
Yep.
But so I'm gonna tell you made me think of something when you talked about that freshman situation, not necessarily being a great fit. When you first came to Central, you actually helped me the other day when we were talking about it. I thought more about it. I'm like, man, it wasn't just an easy fit as far as you being ingratiated with the boys, man. Yeah. The guys that had been, established as friends for years before you came along, and you came in, and you were, in my opinion, the best player in the program, and it looked like they weren't too accepting of that, at least not right off the bat.
Yeah,
man. Was that true only in the gym or even in the halls too, as far as the student experience goes?
At the beginning of the gym. Yeah, it was a struggle for me.
Right.
In the hallway, not so much because everybody had their own little crowd thing, and me, I'm a loner at heart anyway, so it don't bother me if I kick with somebody or not.
Right.
So it was just it was a blessing for me to actually have BO. I could actually have somebody to talk to, hang out with outside of school because I never just been alone. Like, I chose to be alone, not because I had to be alone.
Yeah.
So
you were a loner, but not lonely.
Yeah.
I feel you. Man, how far back did you and Brandon go before you got here?
I met him when I came here, man. Brandon showed me love as soon as first day we stepped on the court. We stepped on the court together. Then he was always around.
Yeah.
And then I always end up at his house. A lot. If I went home or in the gym, I was always over Brent B.O.'s house kicking it with him. Yeah,
that's hard. And he was an important piece to y'all's group, man, because he was not super talented. He was undersized, but he was the captain. Because he was the most vocal, played the hardest. He'd go guard the toughest matchup, take about 3, 4, 5 charges.
Yeah, he getting all the fouls out the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he going to get about 3 or 4 of his own. You know what I mean? And he might just hit a wide open 3 one time. And I thought that, I was like, man, because y'all were all that to me. I ain't going to lie to you. But what was some of your memories of how good that team was? And did you realize that y'all could be pretty good that early when you first got here, or was it just like, well, this is the last chapter, I'm just gonna go ahead and cook and get on out of here?
Man, I was kind of, when I came, I already knew Corey was here, so I was like, okay, we got a big.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know what else we had. I remember Coach Scott was saying that, they already had 8 or 9 seniors. We had 8 or 9 seniors already.
That's true.
And he said that some of them already played, and he was like, they're missing some scoring. We have all the athleticism, everything, but we're missing a guy that can actually put the ball in the hole, that can shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I came in a lot, and it helped out. And it kind of, towards the middle end of the season, everything gelled together. Like I thought we was winning state.
I did too, man.
Yeah.
I really did. Hey, do you remember the atmosphere during that time?
Oh, it was packed in here, man.
Yeah. Like on the games, pep rallies, just the spirit of the building was so different during that time, man.
Oh, yeah. It was, I remember it used to be crowded up here. Even in game times, I remember seeing over here the seats where, they already talking to you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, before it even gets started. But now your dad coming to practice, man. What brought that on? Do you have any idea when you knew, hey man, did he come to you like, son, coach invited me to come, participate in practice, I'm gonna be there tomorrow? Or how'd it go down?
Terry Scott said in front, I remember they were talking in front, he said they needed his help. He wanted him to help him out if he could, and help, Rod Thompson and everybody out. So he came in, I guess, for as far as the defensive side of things.
Right.
And that was his main thing. And I guess he used to work with the bigs a little bit. But he didn't want to, he just wanted to help out, because we used to practice early in the morning before school started.
Yeah, 6 a.m., man.
And so yeah, he just really wanted to touch on like just the little detail things, which is that's one thing my dad is real good at, X and O's. That's all he's done. He's always been. I remember when he coached Arkansas, I go in his office, he breaking down 1 million tapes for the next opponent, for the team they about to play, or what's going on with him, and I mean with Arkansas program, the players, like.
Did you ever spend some time in there in the lab with him, picking up on game?
Yeah, man, I'm a gym rat, man. Like literally, like I would probably be at Bud Walton Arena on summers from literally 7 a.m. to I won't leave the gym till 9 p.m. I might be playing one-on-one against Joe Johnson, hanging out with him, or just being there shooting on a little small goal, or just running around like it was. That's hard. Like it was fun, man.
And you didn't have no problem with that. You said, this is where I want to be.
Yep.
Golly, man.
Yep.
So, you remember what your average was that senior season? Because you're a numbers guy.
I think I averaged 24.
24, huh?
24, I think. I think 24, 6 and 7, or 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you remember one of those games that you feel like, yeah, I really got my shit off on this one? You know what I mean? One of your better games that year.
The only one that come to mind right now is, that ain't gonna say much, but Nathan Hill. I remember. I feel like I couldn't miss at Nathan Hill.
Over there.
Yeah. I could.
You remember why that was important, man? I do. Because they came over here and beat y'all right before Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, they did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was in OT, if I'm not mistaken. And then you guys went over there on their senior night, and it was like a 40-piece. It was ugly.
Yeah. And I ended up having about 40. I had like 42 that game, something like that. So yeah, it was.
It was like that.
Yeah, that and Booker T.
Here or there?
There, and also to Golden State.
In the area.
In the area, yep.
Now that game was something different. That was a buzzer beat. I don't remember nothing much about that game except for the last bucket. But I do remember when we played them over there, and we partied on them, man. We partied on them. But there was something else interesting that happened in that particular game that you told me about a couple days ago. I didn't even know nothing about, man. And hey, man, for the fellas, y'all may be mad, but this is gonna be funny as hell. So evidently, you got frozen out.
Yeah. I say which I shouldn't be tripping. My dad shouldn't have been tripping. What case? Because we was already up. We already had the game won.
It was over.
But my dad is a Booker T native, and he really wanted me to go crazy on him, so he could talk. And I think I had maybe 36, 37. I'm not sure. With 3-4 minutes left to go in the game, and coach got us all starters all in the game. So he wants to run up the score too.
Yep.
And I remember, those about 3-4 minutes, man. I did not touch the ball not one time.
How were you feeling when you're out there? Were you frustrated, or you were just like, were you just in the moment?
I won't let myself get frustrated because I know that, hey, it's always the next person's turn. Like, I'm cool with, say, if I hit 2 shots in a row and somebody come down and shoot a shot, oh, that's fine because that's in the rhythm of the game. But I guess at that point, my dad was like, shoot, nah, like.
Yeah, we need you you hovering around 40.
Yeah,
we need you at 40.
But me, typically, I wasn't really tripping, but he was upset. It did kind of suck the fact that, But at the same time, I look back now, everybody was getting dunks. Now I look back now, everybody was getting dunks. I remember Sean got a dunk. Corey got about 3-4 dunks. Ayers got a couple dunks. Like it just got crazy at the end of that game.
Yeah, it got ridiculous, man. And that was at the old Booker T too. You know what I mean? Not the new one. You know what I mean? The old field out.
The crowd right there, you can feel them right there
right on the floor. They can clip you if you get too close, man. And I was like, but that is one thing that I always thought was impressive about you because you always were like emotionless. You didn't have an expression on your face. It was hard to tell what was on your mind, and so. But it's an emotional game at the same time. You got the peaks, the valleys, you got all type of stuff going on. But for you to not let it show, I was like, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. So believe it or not, I sort of tried to emulate that once I started playing varsity the next year and all of that. But it'd be some moments where I'm in my head like, I don't know what the hell is about to happen. I don't know if we're gonna make it out of this. But on the outside, I'm like, yeah, everything's under control. Everything's under control. So, okay, so we coming down into the state tournament, right? You guys beat, I think, McAllister in the first round of the state tournament at Sand Springs. And then, man, y'all played that cat that had the glove on. It was
Clayton Rice.
That was
Clayton Rice, yeah.
Man,
yeah.
Did he score a field goal that wasn't a dunk that game? Like for real, he was going ridiculous.
I used to tell people, because I was cool, me and Clayton was close too. I used to tell people, I'm like, the reason why he wear that glove because he dunked so much. Like literally, he be in most awkward positions so long, pause, that he
for sure.
and he probably had about 12 dunks on us that game.
That's real. And it's like you would think they were so emphatic, and you hear the crowd going off, but you look up on the scoreboard, we way up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, we end up having to play Ardmore the next day, and they had a terrible shooting night in the game that we scouted them. So we prepared to basically pack the paint, right?
Yep.
Tell me about that game, man. All you can remember, because you guys ended up losing that, and that was the end of the run.
Man, we couldn't get past 5 points. Every time, literally, they score. Every time we scored, they score. Like we could not get a stop, and then they got quite a few N1s. We couldn't make no shots neither. That's what hurt us. And they also had a big on their team. They had a
Jermaine Gresham.
Yes,
Yep.
He was a problem. He was young, but he was a problem,
He was a problem.
For the most part of it.
Yeah, he was a junior that year, man.
And then they also had a senior on their team too. He was probably about 6'3". Couldn't really shoot, but he got to the basket line, got to the free throw line a lot too. And I remember at one point I was like, it's like I think it's third quarter, and we going get within like 3. I'm like, okay, here we go. Then
2 steps forward, 4 steps back.
Yeah.
I think we got in a hole by like maybe 15 or 16 at one point.
Yeah.
They shot it that well, man.
Yeah, they did shoot it well. They did.
So when we were talking the other day, right after you finished with the workout, you said after that game you did something that you had never done. You remember what that was, man? Guess your emotions got the best of you, man.
During the game I start crying while I'm playing. No, it ain't ended yet. It's still like it's funny. It's still like maybe like 5-6 minutes left in the game.
Oh my goodness.
And I remember hitting the 3 and tears coming out my eyes back down court because it's like we can't get a stop.
Yeah. But you said that was the first time you ever shed tears playing the game of basketball. So the highs and the lows, the wins or the losses didn't really move you like that, huh? Not to say that you don't care.
No, it's more the fact that I know it's my last time getting a chance to get to the state. Get to the chip. And I know on my other past 3 years high school, I never got close. In Antioch, people don't realize, like, I guess Oklahoma's probably the easiest state to make it to state as far as playing basketball.
I'll buy that.
Because you just got to win the first game, and then it's double elimination. everywhere else you go, like in Tennessee, no, you gotta win that region bubble, and then you have to. Then you leave that. Then you go to another section of the state. You gotta play in that. It's like a whole, and you have and then like you got. It's more. I hate to say this, but it's more talent too.
It makes sense. The pool is bigger.
Yeah, the pool is a lot bigger. Yeah,
And it sounds like, I bet you if you lose any one and done, right?
Yeah, you won it done.
Oh, yeah.
You won it done. Even when we had the number 4 player in the country on our team, we had size. Man, we only could win. We won the first game, got out second round, and we was top 3 in the conference.
Oh, yeah, that's tough, man. So somebody good don't make it every year.
Yes.
Jeez Louise, man. Okay, so y'all got to the state semifinals, lost. The offseason is always tricky for seniors, from what I see, because you got some who are really committed to whatever the next chapter is going to be, and you can see it in how they work after spring break. Everybody take a little break or whatever, recalibrate, come back, and that's grind time.
Yep.
What was your spring looking like, man, from the months of late March all the way until graduation? Did you have some hints on what you were going to be doing next, where, and all that?
Man, highs and lows, man. Towards the end, when I knew I couldn't go to Division I remember my key was going to Arizona State.
That's where you wanted to go.
That's where I wanted to go,
Okay.
and they was interested in me. And ACT, I struggled. I struggled in school. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled in school. If it wasn't for basketball, I don't think I would have went to college.
Gotcha.
And
That was the incentive, huh?
yeah, so me going to NOC and Enid, I went there to redshirt so I could have 3 years to go D1. But that didn't work out. I got put into there's a rule. If you're a third year at a junior college, you have to have over 60% towards your degree done. If not, back then I know I couldn't get into D1. I couldn't, so my next route was D2. And actually I was done actually. Actually I was like, because my next route was after I finished at Hutchinson. Now Arkansas comes afloat now. Shit, yeah, I've been in that shit. I'm
ready.
So I know it doesn't happen. I gotta go. I can't go D1, so I have to go D2 NAIA. I don't get depressed. I get down like hell. I'm done.
Right.
My dad like, no, you ain't. What he does is, he was like, he used to coach for the Fast Breakers with Henry Bibby.
Okay, that's a name I'm familiar with.
So he said that one of the trips they used to go to Wichita Falls, Texas, and play in the gym. And he said that they got a nice gym over there. So he called the head coach.
Yeah, called him up.
And he was like, hey, my son, he needs a place to go. And the head coach was like, damn, we don't have no scholarship. Hold on. He ends up, he gives a kid a scholarship. He ends up taking it back. Matter of fact, the kid was on half. He gives him the full. Now, keep in mind, it's like 3 weeks in school. School's already started. It's already been 2-3 weeks in school.
Oh, whoa, okay.
So he ends up, to get me there, he gives me, I only can have a partial scholarship, the half scholarship, and he takes it from the kid. And so, but yeah.
That's tough business.
Yes.
Now, did the kid stay in the program or at the school?
He left after that year.
Yeah.
He just went to school after that.
Okay, so you were at NOC Enid for just 1 year?
I redshirted 1 year, played the second year.
Played the second year.
Then I went to Hutchinson Community College.
What brought about that move?
I was going to transfer to Fort Smith. They were still junior college.
Right, and they were damn good too.
Sonny Williams was there too. Since NOC and Enid and Fort Smith are still in the same conference, he blocked it from me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Not about him, but that's the business.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll let you go, but you ain't finna go do damage to us. So you get to Hutch, right? And prestigious program. They got a lot of history, man.
New coach
at that time.
New coach. Yep, new coach.
How'd y'all get along, man?
Man, I went down there as a 2 guard. Ended up playing the point.
Was that your first time playing point?
No, I was always more of a combo, but at the beginning they had was strict point guard. So it was fun. it took some adjustment because I had to take off on my scoring part.
Right.
Because there was athletes, guys that should have been somewhere on that team. Yeah, we had it. We struggled too, though. We struggled.
Was it? What would you say the struggle was? Was it a chemistry thing?
Chemistry. Chemistry. Too many guys that could go, so there was a lot of selfishness.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, and then like also what your coach would do, since he had a lot of weapons. Had some games you play a lot, some games you don't play a lot. So it's all one of those. If you play good, you're gonna play. If you're not,
I think that's a gift and a curse, man. And you know, I'm curious to know how you feel about it. And the reason why I say that is I think it's a gift because you think about a nightmare. How much of a nightmare a team like that would be to prepare for. Because you just don't know who you're dealing with. I plugged this hole right here.
Yep.
Now we leaking over here. You know what I mean? But I say it's a curse because it's hard. It seems to me like it'd be hard to develop a signature unit and then a consistent rotation off of that. Like to that you would say what?
Yeah, you could say that because one thing you always, how can I say this? You always got to play your shooters, which sucks. So some guys might not get the chance, even though they're better, for the fact that guy can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that was also played a big part too. And yeah, chemistry. We all really wasn't gelled together compared to, because the head coaches knew they already had returning players coming. It was just a whole new situation from both ends.
How was it off the court, man? Were y'all all right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I always been like cool with my teammates, man. I never had no issues. With nobody, man.
But ain't it a trip how we can be cool, but a lot of times we may not even have the conversation we really need to have.
Yeah.
Like, yo, fellas, what we on, man? What you on? To get an idea of what's in your head, what's in my head, type of deal.
I think that's one thing I did lack, because I know most places I played, I was the leader, but I don't talk.
That's true. So
that's one thing I look back like, maybe I should have voiced my opinions more and done things, but
amen.
Yeah.
The more I go in this coaching field, I'm realizing that, okay, your leaders don't necessarily have to be the most vocal, but somebody got to be vocal.
Yeah. And
it just so happens that the words only matter if you got credibility. So if you happen to be one of the highest guys on the depth chart, it's kind of on you. Yep. But it's a personality trait, though. If you're talkative, you are. If you're not, you're kind of not.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to change you as a human being. That's kind of tough.
Yeah, it is. Which is, at the same time, I think it's a good thing also, because when the longer you play this game, the vision you go up, the more you have to talk anyways. So you have to find a way to get that behind you. I think that's one thing I struggle with.
Right. Were there any adjustments to the style of play, or maybe the tempo and the size and everything, going from one level to the next, like going from high school to college, or from junior college to junior college, from junior college to NCAA? How'd you adjust?
What helped me out a lot for me adjust is that everywhere I played, I still played against. In high school, I would go to Arkansas, play against players from Arkansas.
Yeah.
I would go to TU, play against TU or ORU. I'm playing at ORU, and of course, some days they tear me up.
Yeah.
But hey, that day I got better.
That's right.
And I think more so now, I think probably kids get trapped into just hooping with their boys, so they never get better. They never see somebody playing you a different way, somebody coming at you differently. How you gonna adjust to this? And I think people get trapped on just, hey, I'm just gonna play here outside or pick up whatever with just some. No, you have to go where somebody is better than you. I think also
the level that you want to play at.
Yeah.
Right. Were you one of those guys when you play pickup in the summer or the off season where you would get out there and try to diversify and maybe do some stuff that you weren't great at? Okay, I love it, man. It's weird. It's weird that you say that, but it shouldn't be, because a lot of my guys these days, I say, okay, guys, I'm gonna lead the ball out. Y'all can play, do whatever, and I'll watch them go to their strengths. But it makes sense because the objective is they trying to win.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, well, at some point you're gonna have to address the weaknesses right here. You know what I mean? So would you work out then go hoop, or the other way around?
Yeah, I would work out. I would actually work out twice and then go hoop. And then and say when I did to go hoop, I would try to focus on working on something when I'm hooping.
Yeah.
I would make that a purpose. Hey, I gotta do this every time I hoop, so I can adjust and get better, know how I can use it in the game time.
Was that just you, or did your dad or somebody else put that on your mind? Like, hey, when you get out there, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, my dad had a lot to that, put that on my mind. Had me adjust certain things. Some people, I was a slender kid in high school, so I was weaker. So therefore, I had to find ways to score outside of just shooting.
Right.
And I know most people played me. He's a shooter. Most people didn't know that. Hell, my left hand was my strong hand. So when they forced me left, hey, okay, thank you, and it worked out. So therefore, at times my right hand never got as strong for the fact that nobody knew.
Mm-hmm. So would you say, when you say it wasn't as strong, meaning you going all the way downhill with your left, but if you go right, what's gonna happen? We pulling up.
Pull up, and then that changed. I say that changed. Actually, my senior in high school. Well, actually, I would go all the way right. I felt more comfortable at ease where I could take that bump, because that bump is, especially when you don't work and you don't lift weights, man. People stronger than you, yeah, they gonna
knock you off your square.
Mm-hmm.
Weights. That's something I wasn't thinking about. Was that a part of your regimen growing up when you were younger?
Man, no, it wasn't.
Nah, it just
I'm mad at myself. Yeah, my dad used to take me to the gym here and there to lift weights, but he never really told me that strength mattered a lot. Which I look back and like, I don't know, which he knew.
Yeah.
But he never instilled it upon me though. And that's one thing I look at now, like, shoot, if I would have been lifting weights in high school, man, my game would have been totally different.
Totally different?
Yeah, because you being stronger, just that confidence just takes you to another level. Just, I would rather be an average player with hella confidence than a real good player with no confidence.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how, even for some reason in our minds, let's say if you've been on the weights for a week, maybe 2, your body hadn't made any significant changes. It's going to take longer than that. But you feel different. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden you walk around with your shirt off for no reason. You know what I mean? And you picking up, bumping people. It just makes a difference, man. Was that another level of introduction you got when you went to college too?
I was slacking in college too.
Oh man!
And the thing is, and what's so sad about it, my coach at Midwestern State, he even said it, like, because we used to go lift weights 3 days a week. I'd be in there playing around.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, he was like, "You lucky you out here killing on this court, or you be in trouble."
Yeah. You be on that bench, man.
But yeah, I always got, throughout my whole college, high school journey, I always tried it. Everybody tried to. Their goal was to bully me.
Yeah.
That was the goal.
Mm-hmm. Well, you still had skill now, so I would imagine that task was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Can you think of a time where you felt like, yo, they punking me out here, man? I'm getting moved off my rocker a little bit too easy out here.
Yeah, that's the night I'm playing to the refs, going crazy on it, man. I'm complaining to the refs, man.
Pro style. So that happened at Midwestern State. That's when that happened to you.
Yeah.
Man,
I say that was a goal, was to push me, bully me, and all that, but it didn't affect me much because skills, if anything, athleticism is one thing, that's a plus, but skills really do pay the bills.
That's right.
Like if I know I can get to a certain spot, no matter you bump or push me, I can get there, then it doesn't matter.
Let me ask you this, because the recollection I have of you as a basketball player, you always got the ball in your hands. So was there ever a moment in your career, I guess post high school, where you had to learn to play without it? Oh yeah, man. Was that much of an adjustment, or was that something you were pretty familiar with?
I was pretty familiar. I never was a backdoor cutter. That's the only thing I had to adjust on is cutting backdoor, when to cut backdoor. But me catching, shooting, coming off screens. Oh yeah, my dad. We spent hours.
Reading.
Yeah.
Knocking it down.
Yeah, curling. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, come off every kind of screen, floater. Yeah.
What was your role your junior season at Midwestern? Because I would imagine you ain't at the PG no more, right?
I was playing the point.
Okay.
I was playing the point. Jeremy Ford at the 2.
Yeah, shout out to Ford down there in Muskogee, man. That sucker can shoot it, man.
Yeah, he can.
So, would you say, was it a traditional PG, or did you have a little more free reign to look for your own scoring opportunities at that time?
I had free reign. He gave me. He didn't put a seatbelt on me, but how the offense was set up, As soon as you came back down court, you had to kick and get out the way. How the offense was set up. But
Right.
My dad used to always tell me back when I was 5th grade. He was like, the point guard is a shooting guard essentially. The point guard brings the ball down the court, but once he passes it, he's a shooting guard.
Good point.
So it kind of, if you look at it that way, you're like, okay, I'm just setting up the offense, but once I get this thing, hey, it's my turn.
That's right.
And that's how I look at it. Every time you get it, it's your turn. Now it's your choice what you do with that turn.
That's a real simple way to look at it, because I think I don't know what the young people's idea of a point guard is, but to me, it's like if you can get the ball across half court and make the first pass, now the offense is set.
Yep.
And I tell one of my leading scorer that just graduated, I'm like, look, brother, when you on the second touch, you'll have something. You know what I mean? And it sounds like it was similar to you. So if that ball finds its way back to you, it's go time. How good were y'all that year as a team?
Oh, we struggled. We didn't. Matter of fact, my junior year at Midwestern State, we didn't make it to the tournament, to the conference tournament.
Would you say y'all should have though?
Yeah. We had the talent, we had the size, but we played. Man, it was bad.
It was tough.
Yeah, it was bad. Then coming out following year, we actually was #1 team in the conference. We won the conference tournament. We almost made it to the Elite 8.
Yeah.
We got beat by Central Missouri. It was all the pieces came. I remember my senior year at Midwestern State, I was a combo. I remember at the beginning he moved me to the 2. We brought in a point guard.
A true one?
Matter of fact, our point guard was our power forward first my junior year, and then he moved him to the point.
Damn.
Yeah.
That ain't.
Shout out Earl Rabb.
Man.
Yeah, and he made it easy because Earl he's a pass first point. He's about 6'4". He remind you of a Sean Livingston type. He won't shoot the ball.
Okay.
Post game, can see the floor real good.
Yep.
Long on defense.
So you're not gonna take, if you're not finna go by him, you ain't gonna take the ball from him.
And he always found you at the right time. So it made it a lot easier. And then once he came out, then I drifted back to the point guard again.
And so y'all made a run that year.
Yeah, we made a run. And then that's when my senior year, I first team All-American, Baltic second team All-American, player of the year in the LSC in my conference. Yeah, I had a good season.
There you go.
Yeah, I had a good season.
One thing I guess I should have asked you a couple chapters ago, how long did it take for you to get over the fact that you were not at the NCAA Division I level?
Oh, man.
Because you know what I mean, that just does something for some reason. From
I don't think I can still get over it, man.
It still bugs you? But okay, so better question. At what point did you realize, all right, it's some players at this level though? Because for some reason the youngsters think it's chopped liver if it ain't D1.
Oh yeah, no.
It's some dudes out there.
There's some dudes there. Yeah, there's some dudes there. Some of those D2s, shoot, I consider some D2s mid level D1, mid to low. Some how you play. I remember before I got to Midwestern State, we had a guy that got picked up by the San Antonio Spurs. So it's like, shoot, there's dogs. Yeah, there's dogs everywhere. You just gotta put in the work.
For real, man. Woo. And see, you actually got pretty close to tasting what that level is like, man. When we finna get to that. So, when your college career ended, did you know immediately that you wanted to keep playing?
Oh yeah.
And I see you gotta walk me through the steps of how you get the next gig. Because to me, when I think of going overseas or anything that pertains to being a pro, I don't know the first thing that one would do.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, my situation, probably 4 days after my college basketball career was over, we got beat.
Yeah.
I was probably getting hit up by about 20 agents.
They hitting you up?
Hitting me up.
Okay.
Selling me things, telling me everything you want to hear. I think that's one thing kids need to watch out from coming from college, going into that next chapter, because say my first experience with my agent, he called me every day, make sure I was good, checked on me every day, but once I signed and actually signed to a team, couldn't get a hold of him. Couldn't reach out. Things going on. I remember my first year in Germany.
Was that your first stint?
My first stint playing in Germany. I signed with this team. They already signed a point guard, but they signed me anyway, so they wanted me coming off the bench. And then what's happened was they told me one day, they brought me to the office. The owner of the team and the head coach brought me to the office, said that they can't pay me. They can't pay me my amount because they can't afford me.
Oh,
so
they can't pay you your amount, or they can't pay you nothing.
they can't. They changed up they wanted to change up my deal because they couldn't afford me for the whole season.
Ah,
So they were like, so we're just gonna make a contract until Christmas. My last game is game. We had a game a week before Christmas, and then I was gonna go home. So I was like, I was hitting on my agent, blowing on my agent, couldn't get a call. Blow up my dad, and of course talking to my dad, I'm frustrated.
yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I signed it. I told my dad, we talk it over. As soon as I signed it, my agent calls me now. You're ruining your career. You're not gonna get another job if you do this. Blah blah blah. And what so happens is, I bet on myself. The next 4 games, I remember I was 25, 28, 30, 27. Now they have money to pay me. Oh, we
All
have
of a
money to
sudden.
pay you now. I'm like, no, I want to go home. So I remember me coming home.
Oh, so you dug your heels in on that and said, nah.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, if y'all playing with me.
Yeah.
So
It sounds like, hold on, before you even get in that, it sounds like you had a little more understanding of this business. Even, either you had some great advisory going into it, because I don't know what my mind would have been like telling me that. Geez, right there. So it sounded like you knew what you were doing.
my dad helped me a lot. My dad he ended up being my best friend.
Yeah.
He was my best friend, and he had the experience. He knew people. He helped me out a lot, and it hurt when he passed.
Yeah.
It hurt us all, but it really, he so he calls me saying that I'm struggling jobs, whatever, and I end up telling my dad to write him a firing him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I come back home. One of my teammates from Germany hits me up and he sends me a link, and they have an article dogging me, talking about I wasn't part of the team, I didn't want to help out, I was being selfish, and like
in Germany they killing you.
Yeah.
And you back here in Tulsa at the time? Was this home at the time?
I get back in Tulsa. Yep.
Okay.
I'm back in Tulsa, and then I come back from Germany. I end up getting a new agent right away, going to Portugal.
Okay.
So playing Portugal, everything's well. Now in Portugal. Now in Portugal you only allow 3 Americans on the team in the top division. And then what's happened with our team, at one point they was like 3 months behind paying us.
All of y'all.
Paying the Americans.
I'm paying them. Oh, okay. I see what's going on.
So
the imports, don't they call y'all that?
Huh?
When they call y'all imports at that time?
So we finally decided, as all of us, to hold out and not play. When we held out, they didn't play, we lost. They paid us. They called us and paid me, but that was back and forth with that, because they pay us and they go back to playing with us.
Come on, man. Did y'all have to sit out again? Or hold
No,
out again?
2 of the Americans went home. I decided to stay. I was like, you know what? I already did this before, and I know they good for it. So I ended up staying. They didn't get paid. I ended up getting my money because I ended up staying, and we made it to the tournament playoffs. And we ended up getting beat first round because the Americans,
Yeah. There's a little light on the depth chart. So, man, I guess that's what scares me when I think about the whole process, like how everything ain't on the up and up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what you see is what you get. I like to pride myself on being like that. But when it ain't what you tell me it is, damn, now how I got to look at you. But what was the difference in the play styles being in America versus abroad?
Paint's a little bit wider. Of course, it's more. European basketball is like an enhanced college. Playing college basketball, there's no 3 seconds on the defense, and they're a lot bigger. You playing against footers now.
Yeah,
and,
legit.
And they can shoot now.
Yeah.
So it was the games, I would say, a little bit better than a high D1. Certain places, it's D1 could be better, but other places you go where I played it was better than the D1. You actually had guys that had the NBA logo on them in the leagues that I was playing in, and it takes some adjusting. Floors are different. You don't have that spring no more. Over here, you jump up, everybody head at the rim over there. Your head ain't at the rim over there.
It tell the truth on you.
Yeah.
Golly.
The crowd it's like an event. You hear horns, sirens, people, drums, just going crazy.
Damn.
Like, it's like how you see soccer over there when you watch it's like FIFA soccer. It's like that in the gym.
Ooh.
So it's like it is more exciting.
Yeah.
In a sense, yeah, it is.
And you still over there with the stone face, huh? You know what I'm saying? Don't let nothing show.
Refs are worse over there, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So did they call the game the same way? From a rule standpoint?
You can't certain moves you do, they call it travel. Like say if you catch the ball, you trip and you're in triple threat position, and if you have any indication of picking up that foot before you put that ball down, it's travel before you even do it.
Now, Haley Langston said that to us, man. We had her on the pod a couple months ago, and she said just that. You can't take a step without a dribble. And I'm like, damn.
yeah, you got to dribble before you take that step.
So I guess we learned it backwards over here. Good Lord. Okay, so where is the highest level of competition when it comes to the leagues overseas in your experiences?
Highest level, of course, I would say top league Italy, top league Spain,
right?
Top league France. I think those are all the best players go. As far as like the money, you can go Hungary, you can go, man, there's money everywhere in those countries. Yeah, but me personally, if I had to choose to go anywhere in Europe, I'm going to China.
Straight up.
Yes, that's where all the money's at.
Where all did you go? Give me the whole pro journey, man. But you told me Portugal and Spain, right?
Germany
was first.
Germany,
then Portugal.
Okay. And I played in the D League for the 66ers.
Yeah.
And then from there I played in Finland. Then Finland had a little short stint in Hungary. It didn't last long. And then I finished up in Austria.
Damn, dog.
The last couple years.
Never got homesick, huh? That's you, huh?
Only thing I missed was the food.
For sure. For sure.
That's it.
I think there's a human element that goes into everything. So of course, you plan, you in a sense being able to live out your dream. But I would imagine that there's some lifestyle adjustments that you got to make, some language barrier to some degree, and just to some degree being on your own.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just you. I mean, maybe you making some acquaintances when you get to these places, but how were those?
Luckily, everywhere I played besides Portugal was more Americanized. I figured anything Northern, Western Europe they speak English to you.
Okay.
And they speak it to you like comfortably.
Yeah.
Southern Europe, they really don't. Even if they can, they don't.
Nah.
It's more of a struggle. The younger generation speaks more English, but the older, they don't. They won't even try.
Yeah. What were some of your days like over there? Was it just gym, crib?
Shoot, 12 noon gym. You get 2 free meals. Gym, then you got practice. You got practice usually in the evening.
Right.
And then like most places over there, you play once a week. So you practice 5 days, game, day off. Practice 5 more days, twice a day.
Damn.
For 9 months.
Well, all I know is y'all ain't got no excuse to be misreading or messing up plays or none of that. It's like that's 10 practices for every game. Wowzers. Man. So did you find your footing over there pretty simply?
Yeah. I would say after I left Germany, I found my footing. I struggled at the beginning, but towards that end, that's where I kind of found it. And then going into that, I went to Vegas to go to a veterans camp,
right?
And ended up working out, and that's where that confidence came back again.
Yeah,
it came back again. But before I say I went to Germany, everybody around me was getting signed to go places right after college. And I was in Arkansas. My cousin was training me. My cousin Garrett was training me every day. So I'm not getting a call from my agent about nothing. Right. And so I kind of get like in a slump. So I quit going to the gym. Matter of fact, I look up, I ain't been in the gym in a month because I ain't got no call, no nothing.
Oh,
all of a sudden,
feeling sorry for yourself a little bit.
Yep. All of a sudden, my agent called me and says, "Hey, in a week, I need you to go to the city. You got invited to the Oklahoma City Thunder veterans camp." I'm like, "Okay."
Snap. I'm panicking now.
So it was. I get there. Of course, I only had 2 weeks to get right. I get there, nothing's clicking. I knew everything was bad. Once I left there, I was like, you know what? Luckily, my agent called me and I got the job offer in Germany. Because I was like, I don't know what the hell. I was very upset with myself that I let myself slip that much.
Man. So, this is my little theory. I think nervousness, is cool. But I think that's you being anxious. You ready to get there, get to it, get it out of you. but fear is something different.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, when you ain't prepared, you should be scared. So what was your mental going over there? Because it sounds like you were pretty present in terms of knowing your game, knowing what you're good at, what you're not so good at. And so you saying you know that you ain't right.
Yeah.
What's your mindset as you taking that trip and getting out there on the court? Are you knowing, man, this ain't about to be good?
I took a basketball with me, and I remember me slapping that basketball for hours every day in the hotel room. When I was in the hotel chilling, I would just slap the basketball just to try to make it one with me. Because I mean, I feel like the basketball is your baby. Like, you got to be able to handle it any kind of way you want, control it, and that's one thing it showed when I was playing in it, where I would lose the ball easily in certain things that I would never lose the ball on. When I shot the ball, it didn't feel right.
Timing just off.
Yeah, just everything off. Defensively was fine, and like me getting to my spots, it's just that I had no kind of rhythm. I had no kind of feel. I had no nothing. And when I shot, it felt like I was missing it.
Yeah. Golly. What'd your pop say?
I didn't tell him all that.
You didn't tell him all that? Probably would have been all on you, man. So, all right, I guess once you got that call for Germany, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, all right, thank goodness. Yeah. Was it back to the grind though?
Yeah, it was back to the grind. Yeah, I was already in the gym twice a day, 3 times a day. After I left the city, I was very upset with myself. I was in that gym 24/7.
But to me, I'm gonna humanize you a little bit here. It seems like, to me, it's harder. It seems like it would be harder to stay ready all the time when you don't necessarily see where the finish line is. You just sort of swinging in the dark. I want to stay ready just in case I get a call, just in case. You look like you let off the gas. I'm chilling. Man.
That's what it is. That's really what it is. When you only the fortunate ones, the LeBrons and the Currys and all them, yes, they can chill and relax because they gonna have a deal. But majority of players, it's survival of the fittest out there. You don't know where you're gonna be the next day, so you always gotta, especially that summer after you got done playing. You don't know you're going to be home 3 months, you're going to be home 6 months, or you're going to be home that whole year. But you know, hey, you might get that call, and that call comes, you got to leave that next day.
Just like that.
And be ready. Yep, because it's crazy, me playing, like, say I was in Austria. I ran across 3 players that came, they called them, they came, they gone the next week. Dang. Next one, they called, come, he worked out, okay, he good for a while. It's like, man, like, that's one thing I realized, that you always gotta. It's a mental game. Yeah. The hardest part is the waiting game. That is the hardest part when it comes to if this is what you want to do.
So during that waiting process, are you at the crib? You just working out, or you working too?
I'm working out and working. Working out and working.
Just to keep that paper coming. Okay, now I was talking to the homie Ebby, and he told me, man, some of those practices over there was some of the most grueling experiences he had. Like they worked the hell out of you on another level. Can you attest to that?
Yeah, they're boring. What do you mean by that? It's if you're not playing pickup, it's a lot of talking, a lot of different sets, a lot of. I remember one practice, coach put 48 minutes on the clock. We had to run for the 48 minutes.
48?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! At what pace? That's what I'm like, coach, man. Can we jog this jam?
But yeah, it's like you're starting over again, how they see it. Because now you got to learn, because at the same time we talked about how the triple threat, they call travel little thing, you get extra steps over there too if you know how to do it. And that's one thing going over there too, if you pay attention to, you'll get. So it's like restarting over things, and plus it's a lot of standing around, a lot of coaching, a lot of, you can't just go over there and just play. Like, let's get the sets, let's hoop.
Let's hoop.
Yeah.
Got a little monotonous. I feel that. So, man, talk about the end of it. Like, how does somebody that's been so in love with the game come to grips with the fact that I might just be done? You know what I mean? When did you get to that point to where, I think I'm going to hang him up? Or was it forced on you?
Start getting hurt. I never been hurt really much. I've had an ankle problem, but I never been getting different aches and pains. I remember my last year playing, I had to get 8 stitches in my mouth. My rib, I had a cracked rib.
They was touching you up then.
My ankle really was tore up. It was just nicks and pains, and I could see my game also declining. And then that's what point I'm like, you know what? I gotta find out plan B.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Anybody going to into the basketball game, of course, do your dream, your goal, but you also got to be looking for an alternate, because we can't play this game forever.
That's true.
Some people play till 25, some people play till 39, but you can't play it forever. You got a whole nother life ahead of you after the game anyways.
Was anybody telling you that when you were growing up? You know what I'm saying? Saying, hey, I know you love this, but this ain't all there is out there. Or did you just have to find that on your own?
People were telling me that, but my dad was my number one fan so much is that I had no plan B. So that's how I went out. That's how I went about it. Was, hey, this is all or nothing, and it hurt me going that route. Yeah, it hurt me going that route, because when I got done playing basketball, I struggled. I've been a kid my whole life, man.
Yeah.
Like playing basketball, I go over there, same thing. I'm a kid, man. They pay for your apartment, they pay for your car, they pay for your food. So basically, you just getting a check and just doing what you love to do. And you ain't got to pay no bills, no nothing if you're doing it the right way.
Right.
And it's like, damn, like, what's next?
You had to relearn everything, get a regimen, all type of stuff. Huh? So when was your last stint, man? When you finished playing?
It was 2016.
2016. So man, your pro career lasted about,
I graduated 2009.
2009. Okay. So you played about 6 or 7 years as a pro.
Yep.
Whenever you said, okay, I'm done, did you feel like you had more left in you, or did you get it all? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still had a lot in me.
It was still burning.
Yeah, it was burning. It was burning, and it was burning so much that I took 2 years not playing basketball.
On purpose.
Yeah, I wouldn't play because it didn't feel right if I couldn't play against competition.
Got you. So whenever you came back stateside, where was home at that point? Was it back in Tulsa, or you moved
I came
around?
back to Tulsa, and then I ended up moving to Houston, Texas for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hurricane Harvey came, and then I ended up coming back home after Hurricane Harvey. Yeah, when Hurricane Harvey came, I ended up coming back home, and then that's when I restarted and made this my footprint.
I feel that. Before we get here, why Houston?
A close friend of mine, shout out Adrian, he saw my struggles, and he wanted something better for me. He thought that, hey, get out of Oklahoma. Try to see what you can do over there. You can always come home. If anything goes wrong, you can always come home, which was
pretty true.
It let me see a different side, see what I was made of.
Was there any hesitation on that, or did you just take him right up on that deal?
A lot of hesitation, but I ended up doing it anyways. Like at the time, I was trying to figure out how I have a daughter. She was born in Finland. I'm still with the mother of my daughter, and I was just trying to make things work to try to keep everything together. And I was a boy doing it.
I feel it. Levels, man.
Yeah.
We all got some growth to do. So how's your daughter now, man?
Oh, she's 7, man.
Tell me about her. How much like you is she?
She's nothing like me.
Nothing like you? That's hard.
She looked like me though, that's the sad part.
That part. Would you say that changed you at all in any way, shape, or form, becoming a father?
Yes.
And being a father of a daughter?
Yeah, I never imagined. Actually, it did change a lot. How I viewed things differently once having her. It made actually when I had her, it made me hungry. It did make me hungry. It made me spend more time in the gym, more time working out. I actually got better during that little stint.
Man, she drove you. Didn't even know it, huh? Did that fire manifest itself in some different ways after the career was over? Because you still got her, even though you didn't have hoop.
Yeah. It took a while. It took a while. It took 2 years to get it back on, because you're still talking to a guy I didn't know what he wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted, me training now just came out of left field for the fact that, hey, I really had to figure out what do I want to do, because I heard the saying, if you do what you love, basically that's retiring in a sense. If you get up and do everything you love, if you get up and do whatever you love every day, and it's like I was just trying to figure out what is something that I can wake up every day when I'm 50, 60, and get up and know, you know,
Look forward to doing it.
Yes, because I've been to the struggle where when I got done playing, I had to get a reality check where I worked at Walmart for a little bit and work different places so I can, you know, I don't want to not work.
Right.
And coming from playing basketball to working at Walmart, man, the reality hits you for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people view you different. Like, it's a big change, and I wasn't good on preparing myself.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that stuff you just got to go through, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much preparation you could have,
Yeah, you're right
except
about
for actually walking that path.
Uh-huh.
Man. Okay, so tell me about the training. How did it come about? Did you just say, hey, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to try this, or did somebody solicit your services and then you just started liking it?
A lot of people kept hitting me up at wanting me to train their children.
See, there you go.
And I trained my brother. And I used to train my brother, and I would put him to the work, and I could see his game change. And then I went to my nephew, training my nephew, and he's at a weaker level, and I could see his game development. And I was like, damn. And then it was actually fun. It was actually fun being there. Then I was, at the same time, it's like, when I trained my daddy, you know, he was brutal with me most time. Me, I'm different because I know every kid is different.
Yeah.
Some kids, hey, you can't talk to like that. Some kids, hey, you know, you got to get on them more. But I know at retrospective things, like, you know, that basketball should be fun.
Should.
Basketball should be fun at the end of the day, especially if you want to do something for a long time. If you start to hate it, you're not going to start to take it more serious as you're supposed to.
Right. So, I mean, you evolved, you know what I mean? So your pops was one way, you took some of that, and then you went the other direction. So tell me about the website, man. Well, where can folks find you at, dog? Talk to me about it.
At thanks-notes.com. I also got a TikTok and an Instagram. As far as, like, I work on
Move of the day.
Move of the day, yo.
Yep.
I'm in the house, so you can always work on your handles in the house. And it's something that is growing on. I'm enjoying, and it's just one thing I've noticed. Me being in Tulsa and me coming back, there's no talent in Tulsa. No talent. And
you say none? You gonna leave it at no talent? Okay.
I'm sorry, there is talent, but compared to, I looked at it like this. I remember Talia, not Talia, I think it was Maya. Talia gave me a list of all, like, the nominations for All-Americans.
Right.
Coming out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I think, 9 girls from Oklahoma. There was only 4 guys from Oklahoma. But you look at Tennessee, 15. You look at New York, 30-something. You look at Colorado, 20-something nominees or suggestions. And, like,
what's happening?
Up? Yeah, what's going on over here?
It's a pretty big discrepancy.
And it's like, there's kids that can play. They just don't have the right tools. I see. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure there's hungry kids everywhere. Just
right.
that. And I know from my background and from how I got trained and from just the basis of the game, hell, I fit the bill. I actually enjoy doing it because, hey, you know.
You're putting it to good use, my man.
Yes.
Well, here's how we're going to wrap this thing up, man. You got to take me to one of those losses, dog, at any level. A team that beat you that didn't have no business beating you. And if you could go back to that game and do it over, you going to that one. Which game might you go to?
You know, I'm going to take it to high school.
Yeah.
Playing Edison at Edison. I think we lost that game. No, we didn't.
No, I'm going to say.
No, we didn't. We won.
I got that schedule memorized, Jack.
It was. No.
Memorial?
McLean.
Oh, yeah.
Both McLean games.
They were the only team that swept y'all.
It seemed like McLean, like, no matter what, and they didn't have Prentice on their team. Prentice wasn't even playing no more, and there's something about them. They had us.
Had the number.
They had our number.
Yeah.
They knew how to play us, knew how to guard us. They playing at McLean, of course, you're gonna hear all the credits, man.
What?
Oh yeah, they talking to you
Deep
over there.
in the north.
But yeah, I would say, and then shout out to Lees. Played at McLean, not Prentice, Simmons.
Trey Sims?
Trey, yes. Shout out to Trey. Yeah, Trey used to give us problems.
Yeah, he had a run over there. He was a year under y'all, too. He was a junior.
He was a junior?
Your senior year.
Oh, okay.
If I think I got that right. I got that right. But if I'm wrong, oh well. Charge it to my head, not my heart.
No, you good.
Well, say, bro, I appreciate you coming and sitting down with me, man. You know, you may not know this, but I learned a lot from you in that 1 year, man. I looked up to you in a major way. And anytime people would ask about that team, the first name that I would say from that team that I remember being really that dude was you, man. So I want to say thank you.
I appreciate
and keep
that.
doing what you're doing. And glad to have you back in the town, my boy.
I appreciate that a lot, man.
Now you got to come up here and help the boys out.
Let me know.
Yeah.